You can't remember what you had for breakfast 3 days ago. You forgot your best friend's birthday last month. But that moment 5 years ago when someone dismissed you in a meeting, you remember the exact words they used, the shirt they were wearing, the way they looked away when they said it. Why is it that pain has photographic memory while joy barely leaves a trace? Here's what's happening. Your brain isn't broken, it's not being dramatic, and you're not weak for holding on to hurt while letting go of happiness. What's actually happening is far more fascinating, and understanding it changes everything. Let me tell you something uncomfortable. Your brain is designed to remember pain more vividly than pleasure, not because you're damaged, not because you're negative, but because for millions of years, forgetting danger meant death. Think about it. Your ancestors who remembered exactly where the predator attacked, they survived. The ones who forgot and wandered back into danger, they didn't pass on their genes. You are literally descended from people who couldn't let go of bad memories. But here's where it gets complicated. That same survival mechanism that kept your ancestors alive is now keeping you trapped in moments that happened years ago. Your brain can't tell the difference between a social rejection and a physical threat. To your nervous system, being humiliated at work activates the same alarm bells as being chased by a predator. And so you remember, in vivid, excruciating detail, the texture of that moment, the temperature of the room, the exact inflection in their voice. Your brain catalogs it all because somewhere deep in your wiring, it believes this memory will protect you from future pain. Except it doesn't protect you. It imprisons you. Let me show you exactly what's happening in your brain when you can't stop replaying that hurt. Pattern number 1. The emotional tagging system. Your brain has this system called the amygdala. Think of it as your emotional alarm system. When something happens that feels threatening, emotionally painful, or shameful, your amygdala lights up like a firework and stamps that memory with a giant red flag that says, important, never forget. Positive experiences, they get a gentle green sticker. Nice, but optional. This is why you can watch 100 people compliment you and it slides off like water, but one person criticizes you and suddenly you're lying in bed at 2 a.m., replaying it in 4K resolution with director's commentary. Your brain literally processes negative experiences with more neural resources. It's not fair, but it's biology. Pattern number 2. The rumination loop. Here's where it gets worse. Every time you replay that painful memory, you're not just remembering it, you're re-experiencing it. And your brain, it can't tell the difference. When you think about that betrayal from 3 years ago, your body produces the same stress hormones, cortisol, adrenaline, as when it first happened. Your heart rate increases, your muscles tense, you're physiologically back in that moment. And here's the cruel trick. Each time you replay it, you strengthen the neural pathway. It's like walking the same route through a forest over and over until it becomes a worn path. Eventually, your brain defaults to that path. The memory becomes easier to access, more vivid, more real. You're not dwelling on the past because you want to. You're stuck in a loop your brain has made into a superhighway. Pattern number 3. The meaning-making machine. Your brain hates uncertainty more than it hates pain. So when something hurtful happens, your mind immediately starts asking, why did this happen? What does this mean about me? And here's what nobody tells you. Your brain would rather settle on a painful explanation than live with no explanation at all. So you construct narratives. They left because I'm not enough. I got rejected because I'm fundamentally unlovable. They betrayed me because I'm not worth loyalty. These stories are devastating, but they give you something worse than pain. They give you certainty. And your brain craves certainty like oxygen. Every time you remember the hurt, you're also rehearsing the story you've told yourself about what it means. You're not just remembering what happened, you're remembering your interpretation of what it says about your worth. If these patterns are resonating with you right now, if you're thinking, I wish someone had explained this to me years ago, this is exactly why I create this content every single week. I break down the hidden psychology behind the patterns that keep us stuck so you can finally understand what's happening beneath the surface. Subscribe so you never miss these insights. Every week, I'm here helping you decode the parts of yourself that have felt confusing or broken. You're not broken, you just haven't had the manual. Hit that subscribe button to keep getting it. Pattern number 4, the negativity bias amplifier. Research shows that negative experiences are processed and stored with approximately 3 times the intensity of positive ones. This is called negativity bias, and it's exhausting. You need roughly 5 positive interactions to psychologically balance out One negative interaction. Think about your relationships. One fight can erase weeks of harmony in your emotional memory. One rejection can overshadow dozens of acceptances. This isn't pessimism. This is your brain's risk assessment protocol working overtime. In ancestral times, missing a positive opportunity, berries in a bush, was inconvenient. Missing a negative threat, predator in a bush, was fatal. So your brain treats every emotional wound as potential survival information, and it won't let you forget. Pattern number 5, the unfinished business phenomenon. Here's something fascinating. You remember unresolved pain more than resolved pain. Psychologists call this the Zeigarnik effect. Your brain holds on to incomplete experiences with incredible tenacity. That conversation you never got to finish, the apology you never received, the closure that never came. When something is resolved, even if it was painful, your brain can file it away. Okay, that chapter is closed. But unresolved pain, it stays active in your mental workspace, demanding attention, refusing to be archived. Your brain keeps it in active memory because somewhere in your psychology you believe if you just think about it enough, replay it enough, analyze it enough, you'll finally understand it, resolve it, fix it. You won't, but your brain hasn't figured that out yet. Let's go deeper. Why does your brain do this? What's actually happening beneath the surface? The threat detection system. Your brain has evolved over millions of years with one primary directive: keep you alive. And the best way to keep you alive? Learn from danger. Remember threats. Avoid repeating painful experiences. This system lives in your limbic system, the ancient emotional part of your brain that operates largely beneath conscious awareness. When you experience emotional pain, your brain processes it in remarkably similar ways to physical pain. Brain scans show that social rejection activates the same neural regions as physical injury. Your brain literally treats emotional wounds like physical wounds. And just like you'd remember exactly how you broke your arm so you'd avoid doing it again, your brain remembers exactly how your heart got broken. The social survival mechanism. But here's what makes emotional pain even stickier than physical pain. Humans are social creatures. For most of human history, being excluded from your group meant death. If you were kicked out of the tribe, you didn't have access to food, shelter, protection, or mates. Social rejection wasn't just painful, it was a death sentence. Your brain still operates on this ancient software. When someone rejects you, betrays you, humiliates you, or abandons you, your brain sounds the same alarm it would if your physical survival was threatened. This is why social pain feels so intense, why you can't just get over it, why your nervous system treats a breakup like a catastrophe, because to the deepest parts of your brain, it is. The memory consolidation process. When you experience something emotionally intense, your brain releases stress hormones, particularly cortisol and adrenaline. These hormones act like a highlighter on your memories. They tell your hippocampus, your memory center, this is critical, encode this deeply, make this unforgettable. This is why traumatic memories are so vivid, why you remember painful moments with such clarity. The emotional intensity of the experience chemically enhanced the memory formation process. And here's the kicker. Strong emotions create strong memories, but strong memories also create strong emotions. It's a feedback loop. The more vividly you remember something painful, the more emotional intensity it carries. The more emotional intensity it carries, the more vividly you remember it. You're not stuck in the past because you're weak. You're stuck because your neurobiology has created a self-reinforcing cycle. Now, let me tell you something important. This is not your fault. You're not dwelling on pain because you're broken, bitter, or incapable of letting go. You're doing it because you're human, and your human brain is doing exactly what it was designed to do. Your memory isn't punishment, it's protection. Your brain believes it's keeping you safe by holding on to these painful memories. Every time you remember that betrayal, that rejection, that humiliation, your brain thinks it's running a safety drill. Remember this. Don't let it happen again. The problem isn't that your brain is malfunctioning. The problem is that it's applying survival strategies designed for physical threats to emotional and social situations where they don't work. You can't avoid emotional pain the way you can avoid a dangerous cliff. Relationships require vulnerability. Growth requires risk. Living requires opening yourself to the possibility of hurt. Your sensitivity isn't weakness. It's evidence that you're alive and connected. The fact that you remember pain so vividly means you're capable of deep feeling. The same emotional depth that makes you vulnerable to hurt is what makes you capable of profound love, joy, and connection. And here's something else. The stories you've told yourself about what that pain means, they're not truth, they're interpretations. They're your brain's attempt to make sense of something that hurt. But "they left because I'm not enough" is not a fact. It's a story, a painful one, but still just a story. You are not defined by the worst things that have happened to you. You are not the sum of your rejections, betrayals, and losses. You are a person trying to make sense of pain with a brain that sometimes makes that pain harder to carry. That's not failure. That's being human. So how do you work with this brain of yours? How do you stop being held hostage by memories that refuse to fade? Step 1. Name what's happening. The next time you find yourself replaying a painful memory, pause. Actually say to yourself, "This is my threat detection system activating. My brain is trying to protect me from future pain by rehearsing past pain." This simple act of naming interrupts the automatic loop. You're moving the experience from your limbic system, emotional, reactive, to your prefrontal cortex, rational, observant. You're creating space between you and the memory. You're not the memory. You're the person observing the memory. Try this language. I'm having the thought that I'm unlovable, instead of "I'm unlovable." I'm remembering the time I was rejected instead of "I was rejected," and that defines me. Small shift, massive difference. Step 2. Disrupt the neural pathway. Remember how I said that replaying memories strengthens the neural pathway? Here's the good news. You can weaken it. When a painful memory surfaces, instead of following it down the familiar path, deliberately redirect. Ask yourself a different question. What did I learn from this? Or, what strength did I develop because of this? I'm not asking you to be grateful for pain. I'm asking you to consciously create a new neural association. Over time, with repetition, you're literally building a new pathway in your brain. One that doesn't lead to rumination, but to integration. Physical interruption works too. When you notice yourself spiraling, change your physical state. Stand up, stretch, go outside, do 10 jumping jacks. Your brain is embodied. Changing your body changes your mental state. Step 3. Rewrite the narrative. Your brain constructed a story about what that painful experience means. Now you're going to examine that story with compassion and curiosity. Take out a journal, write down the painful memory and the story you've been telling yourself about it. Then ask, what else could be true? Maybe they didn't leave because you're not enough. Maybe they left because they were scared of intimacy. Maybe they were dealing with their own wounds. Maybe the relationship wasn't right for either of you. I'm not asking you to excuse their behavior. I'm asking you to release the interpretation that you are fundamentally defective. Create multiple interpretations, not to find the truth, but to loosen the grip of the one painful story your brain has been repeating on loop. Step 4. Practice positive imprinting. Remember the negativity bias? You need approximately 5 positive experiences to balance 1 negative, so you're going to deliberately create positive imprints. At the end of each day, write down 3 specific positive moments. Not vague gratitude. Specific moments. My friend texted to check on me. I solved a problem at work. I laughed at something unexpected. Describe these moments in sensory detail. What did you see, hear, feel? You're doing manually what your brain does automatically with negative experiences. You're emotionally tagging positive memories to make them stick. Over time, you're rebalancing your emotional database. You're teaching your brain that good things are also worth remembering. Step 5. Seek resolution, not revenge. For those unresolved pains, the apologies you never got, the explanations that never came, you need to create your own closure. Write a letter you'll never send. Have an imaginary conversation where you say everything you wish you'd said. Speak your truth aloud to an empty chair. This isn't about them. This is about you closing the loop in your own psyche. Your brain needs an ending. Give it one. And sometimes, resolution means accepting that you'll never understand why it happened. That's okay. You don't need to understand everything to heal from it. I release the need to know why. I choose to move forward anyway. That's power. Imagine this. You're going about your day when that old memory surfaces, the one that used to hijack your entire mood, send you spiraling, make you question your worth. But this time, something's different. You notice it, you acknowledge it. Oh, there's that memory. My brain's threat system is activating, and then it passes like a cloud moving across the sky. Present but not permanent, there but not consuming. You realize you've gone days, then weeks, without replaying it, not because you've forgotten the memory is still there, but because it's lost its charge. It's become information, not identity. You start noticing the good moments with the same clarity you used to reserve for painful ones. Someone's kindness, a moment of peace, your own strength. These memories have texture now. Weight, they matter. You stop interpreting every new relationship through the lens of old wounds. You notice when you're bracing for pain, and you consciously choose to show up differently. Not naive, not unprotected, but open, present, here. When people hurt you, and they will, because that's part of being human, you feel it, you process it, but you don't let it define you, you don't replay it until it becomes your identity. You understand that your brain's job is to remember danger, but your job is to live fully anyway, to risk connection even though connection can hurt, to stay open even though openness makes you vulnerable. You become someone who has been hurt but is not defined by hurt, someone who remembers pain but is not imprisoned by it. This is what changes when you understand the psychology of your own memory. You stop fighting your brain and start working with it. You stop seeing your sensitivity as weakness and start seeing it as evidence of your humanity. You get to be both. Someone who feels deeply and someone who moves forward, someone who remembers and someone who is not stuck. That's the transformation, not forgetting, but finally being free. If you've made it this far, you're ready for real change. You've just invested these minutes in understanding yourself at a deeper level. That's not casual viewing, that's commitment to your own growth. And you don't have to do this work alone. This community is full of people on the same journey, learning to work with their minds instead of against them, choosing healing over habit. Subscribe to be part of this ongoing transformation. Every week, we're here breaking down the patterns that hold us back and building the insights that set us free. You belong here. Welcome to a space where we choose understanding over shame and growth over staying stuck. Here's your challenge for this week. Notice without judging. The next time a painful memory surfaces, don't fight it. Don't shame yourself for having it. Just notice it. Say, "There's my brain doing its protection thing." And then gently, compassionately, redirect. Choose one of the steps we talked about. Name it. Disrupt it. Rewrite it. Create a positive imprint. Seek your own closure. You don't have to do all of them. Just one. Practice creating space between you and the memory. You deserve to remember your life as more than a catalog of wounds. You deserve to move through the world without carrying every hurt like a stone in your pocket. Subscribe as you commit to this transformation. Share this with someone who's stuck in their own painful loops. And comment below which pattern hit hardest for you. I read every comment and your insights help this community grow. You're not alone in this, and you're not broken. You're just human, with a very human brain, learning to be free,